What up, Internet? I'm Dave, and I'm sitting here in my car on a miserable Michigan Sunday, and I'm here to give you my review of Junji Ito's No Longer Human. Shout out to Detroit Public Library for loaning me this book, personally. This is the third story by Junji Ito I've read. He's a popular horror manga writer from Japan. You can tell by his name that he's from Japan. I've read Uzumaki and Hellstar Remina by him, which are they're horror stories, but they're kind of fun. There's like an element of comedy to some of them. Like there's a chapter in Uzumaki where these two girls have possessed hair and they fight each other in high school, and the horror elements are strong, especially in the visuals of Junji Ito works, but he has fun generally, in my experience so far. But this book's a little different. No Longer Human's a little bit different than the ones I've read before. So No Longer Human follows the story of a man, Yozo Oba, and he is essentially a piece of shit. He's like not a good person. And about the first half of the book is spent just like, this guy is terrible. At least in my experience, this guy is a terrible person. And then something happens about halfway through and you're like, oh, he can't help himself. He's mentally ill. And it's based on a book by Osamu Dazai, who is a popular Japanese writer around 1930s, I believe, 1940s. And there is a reveal later in the book about the nature of this book. It's an adapted work from the original novel. And there's a reveal, I don't want to spoil it for potential writers, but that reveal in particular got to me. So essentially, this is a story about a man who struggles horribly with mental illness and addiction and things like that. It occurs around the pre-war era in Japan, and Yozo Oba is an aspiring artist as the story develops, struggling with all of these issues, and it's pretty real. It's pretty heavy stuff compared to the other works by Junji Ito that I've read. Like Uzumaki is sort of a play on H.P. Lovecraft stories, and it's you can take it a little bit less serious. But No Longer Human is based on real life, and it's heavy and definitely depressing. The main plus of this book that I would say is the art. Junji Ito's art is just amazing. He's really good with just a black and white comic book format. He's really good at developing a sort of cinematic essence to the story as it develops, with all the angles that he chooses, and actually the pacing of the book too, because Junji Ito, he's well known for these page turn reveals of horror. Like, you see the panel in the previous page is a dude like looking shocked, and then you turn the page and you see what he's shocked at, and it's always crisp. It's always amazing art and pretty shocking stuff. And even though this is No Longer Human is a grounded story, Junji Ito lends a tone of surrealism, and he really explores like the madness of Yozo Oba, the main character, through his art. And it's definitely not a feel-good book, but I would recommend it heartily to anyone who likes manga, likes horror. It's got great art. The story is it's interesting the way it develops, because he basically says to you in the beginning. Yozo Oba is narrating the book, and he says to you in the beginning, like, I'm not a good person, you know, and you're like, yeah, you're not a good person. Then over the course of the book, there's an element of sympathy that develops not only for Yozo, but the people who are affected by his actions. So I enjoyed this book a lot. It's great. It's a great book, and I'll definitely be reading more Junji Ito works. He's one of my favorite mangakas. I don't know how you pronounce that, but I'm not like super versed in manga, but he's definitely front runner for me. He's very good. So yeah, I would say it's a great book, and check it out. And if you're interested in what I'll be covering next with these super lazy reviews, where I sit in my car or other areas and just give you a vlog type review, shouting into the content abyss. I watched Poor Things last week, which was I'd like to talk about that one. That was an interesting view. I'm playing through Lies of P right now on my PlayStation 5. Hell of a game. Very interesting, and I'd love to talk about that. I'm about to start a Geddy Lee autobiography that my girlfriend Karen bought for me on my birthday, so I'm sure I'll have something to say about that. Tekken 8 is on the horizon, so I'm sure my scrubby ass, uneducated fighting game self will have something nice or not nice to say about Tekken 8. And also, I'm a miniature painter, so maybe I'll try to film some of my scrubby, terrible miniature painting for your viewing engagement. So thank you for watching. If you're interested in this type of content, which I mean, there's tons of people doing this on the internet, so I don't know, maybe something about my potato looking ass is appealing to you. Hit the subscribe or like button, and I'll check you on the next one. Peace.